Hey guys.
Welcome back to the Transport Bandits channel. I'm Cheryl.
I'm Jeff, or Mr. Dimples.
And this is our mascot, Mr. Bones. In case you haven't watched any of our other videos before, you're going to see a lot of him on this trip. Guess where we're going?
Alaska.
Alaska! Are you crazy?
No.
We have got a load to Alaska.
Yep.
And we're going to show you how to set up a bond.
A bond?
A bond?
You've given away the teaser.
A bond. We have to set up a bond.
Yeah, now it's no longer a teaser. You've just flat out told them.
I've said that. No, I've watched other YouTube videos. They always say what they're going to see in this video. This is our introduction video to Alaska. We're going to take you to the border and show you what paperwork you need and how to set up that bond and how many hundreds of dollars does that cost. And will we get reimbursed? Better stay tuned. We'll show you in this video how that works, and then after we pass into the border, we'll start our series of videos going to Alaska. So stay tuned to the Transport Bandits channel.
Yep, you can ride along with us up the Alaska Highway.
It's going to be fun. We don't know what we're going to encounter.
Or as us veterans call it, the Alcan.
The Alcan. And I just want to say a special thank you to our friend Brett Hibbard, who works at Synergy, who messaged me and told me that there were loads going to Alaska, 2 of them, on the load board at Synergy, and he knew we had always wanted to take a load to Alaska. So he helped fulfill our dreams, because I might have missed it because those loads go fast. What do you think, Jeff? We're going to Alaska.
Alaska.
There we go. What's Mr. Bones doing?
He's just hanging out.
He is. He's hanging out with Mr. Dimples. So, since you saw us on the last video, we had gone up to do a couple of loads up to Ontario, went home. We were at home with Barry and Sue Creech and helped them build a bed. We went to a biker rally, Thunder in the Smokies.
Yep.
We had a blast at Thunder in the Smokies. As you know, me and Jeff ride our own bikes, and just had a great time. Chris James came up to see us.
Yep, he had fun.
That's a fellow transporter. We had a blast with Chris. And we just had a good time over that weekend. And then we got back to our house and
Loaded up.
We serviced the truck from top to bottom to make sure it was ready for this trip.
Yeah, so Chris Wall, one of our friends and Transport Bandit fan, he asked me why we didn't put Mr. Bones in the truck and let him drive and make money for us.
You know, he's a lazy bones. We can't get him to do any work.
Well, he was willing to. We finally talked him into it. But when we took him to get his DOT physical, he failed every aspect of it. First of all,
he failed his DOT physical.
He's not overweight, he's underweight.
He's a little anemic.
He couldn't pass the eye exam because he don't have eyeballs. The blood pressure, forget about it. He don't have any blood. He don't have any blood pressure. So it was just a mess. So he's stuck with riding with us.
So you're going to see a lot of Mr. Bones on this trip because he rides right here on our dash. Take a look at this. We are looking for row 8. We are in the Topeka Yard, and you don't have to have your paperwork yet. If paperwork's on the phone, so they have all of your paperwork here at the Topeka lot. This is row 8 by the cone right there. We are looking for 220951. Let's get the right trailer.
We're looking for some sort of wolf.
Yeah, we're looking for a
Arctic wolf, wolf pack, gray wolf, little wolf, big wolf. There's a lot of wolves.
There's a Arctic wolf, gray wolf, wolf pack. We're looking for a wolf pack. A whole pack of wolves. We've looked through 1 million wolf pups.
Yeah, I think after an exhaustive search, and we're almost ready to give up, we found our trailer.
We found it. It's on the outside ring, which is also row 8. So let's get her hooked up. Okay, 220951. You always want to check to make sure 1220951. And this is our unit that we are taking to Alaska. A whole wolf pack. Jeff's going to back up. We're going to hook up the electricity, put the weight distribution bars on, chains, the battery breakaway cable, check the lugs on the tires, all the doors, make sure there's no damaged units, and we'll be ready to roll. Normally, we have an electric jack. What's up with that?
Tell you what's up with it. Well, I can't tell you what's up with it because it would be foul language and I'm not allowed to use that on YouTube.
Oh, so we're gonna have to, and it's a hard crank, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Wonder why this was not an electric jack.
Because it's going to Alaska.
Alaska. They don't do things cushy in Alaska.
They like manual things in Alaska.
Let's do it. We've got a 27-foot wolf pack.
Wolf pack.
Okay, we're going to pull it up here next to the guard shack so that we can check the tires because it was such a tight fit in between there. We're going to make sure the tires are all aired up using the air compressor right there. And we'll be ready to roll. They'll print our BOLs off here in the office because all the paperwork is here at the Topeka Yard. We're all hooked up. We are headed to the office now to see what special paperwork we're going to need to do and the special circumstances we're going to have to go through to get this unit all the way to Anchorage, Alaska. So we are ready to go. If you're thinking about signing up for Synergy, what are they going to do, Jeff?
First thing you're going to do is subscribe. And then you're going to put our name down as a reference. And you'll put down Transport Bandits.
Transport Bandits. And our information is in the description below, so you can get our driver name and number.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to contact us or message us, just leave me a comment below. I'll tell you how you can do that, and I will call you and give you a consult about Synergy. Now, getting back onto it, we're headed to Alaska. This is probably going to be a several-part video, because if I make it all in one park, it's going to take us like a week to get up there.
Yeah, you know.
So it would be a video that would last like an hour and a half long, or longer than that maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take to get up there. I mean, you know, we're going to have to fight grizzly bears. We're going to have to fight moose off.
We might see some bison.
Yeah, everything.
Who knows? Muskox.
It's going to be pandemonium.
It may be all Eskimo pandemonium.
Yeah.
Eskimos?
Yeah, Eskimos.
Who knows what's going to happen? So that's the fun side of RV transport. You never know what's going to happen, especially with the Transport Bandits. We have no idea. We have no clue. But we do have a clue on how to get this thing up to Alaska because we stopped in the Synergy offices and talked with all the great people at Synergy. And our dispatcher, Judy, gave us the name, Randy, that works at Synergy, who had done the Alaska run before.
Yeah, it hooks us up because the paperwork's a little different.
The paperwork is not the same as going to Canada because you are technically delivering to the United States. But we have to pass through Alberta, British Columbia, and the Yukon.
And they all want their money.
So we've got paperwork. We're going to have to set up a bond, and I'll explain that to you when we get to the border. But we are going to travel now across the Dakotas and to Sweetgrass, Montana, and go in at Sweetgrass. So we'll see you there at Sweetgrass. Stay tuned to the Transport Bandit channel. Be a couple of days for us.
Yep.
It'll probably just be a few seconds for you, because that's the magic of video.
It is.
We're going to show you what it's like there at the border crossing when you're not delivering to Canada. You're delivering to the U.S., but you have to travel through Canada.
You know, we got a lot to do up through there, too. Some people say it's remote and boring.
We got a lot of stuff. By the way, an invaluable thing to have to go up the Alaska Highway, the Milepost. You can order it on Amazon. I have a link to the description. Click on that link in the description of our video below. We'll show you the Milepost. This is invaluable if you're going to be traveling on any road going towards Alaska, up through Canada, the Yukon Territories, the Cassiar, the Alaska Highway, even up through Alberta, British Columbia. They've got all the roads in here, and it tells you mile by mile what you're going to want to see, do, what there is. If there's a beaver dam at mile marker 104, it will tell you.
It tells you down to the 10th of a mile.
But I will tell you more about the milepost later on, if not in this video, in an upcoming video on traveling to Alaska. You're going to want this book if you're going to Alaska. We used it back in 2005. We took our own camper. Are you sleepy?
Yeah.
We took our own camper to Alaska back in 2005, which is, what, 17 years ago.
And here we are taking somebody else's.
And that was way before we got into RV transport. And we went up the Alaska Highway, and it was remote, and it was rough, and it was rugged. And we had miles of frost heaves, mountains, swampland,
mud,
bison, deer, moose. I think I had counted 54 grizzlies at the time, although we went in July. It is now May.
I'll tell you what it was like. Think about the worst parts of the Bible. You know, all the plagues and, you know, Revelation type stuff.
It's not that bad. It's awesome. It's an adventure. We mostly took this load for the adventure of it all. We're kind of taking it as a vacation because we are the fun side of RV transport. It's not always about the pay or the miles. It's about where you're going and how much fun you're going to have going there.
And it's about the pay.
And it's about the pay. It's like getting a paid vacation. So travel with us on our trip to Alaska. We'll meet you up here at the border at Sweetgrass and tell you about that special paperwork, because we have to do a bond of all things. A bond.
Yep. And when she says we'll meet you, don't actually come to the border, okay? I'm not going to meet you there.
No, we're going to meet them on our YouTube channel. And thank you, everybody, for watching. You know who you are. Jackie, Dina, Chris, all of you guys that watch us on a regular basis. Yep. Scott, everybody. If I've left you out, I'm just reading off the cuff of my head.
We've got like 2,300 subscribers, and you named all 4 people?
No.
Yeah. You've missed some.
No, Robert. We've got everybody who watches us. You know, I look at those comments, so leave me a comment below. I love all of you guys. It's just, you know how it is with names. You just can't rattle them off right off the top of your head.
We got over 2,300 subscribers.
Jason and Annie.
You named like 5 people.
Yeah.
Of course, you've left some out.
Of course, I've left you out. I'm so sorry if I've left you out.
You've left them all out.
One of these days, I'm going to name everybody. Okay? And I'm also going to say thank you, because we just got our bonuses from Roy and Christy. And we got Troy Gray gave us a good bonus because they put our names down on their application. So we got and then they completed their 5,000 miles safely loaded miles. Thank you so much, you guys. Congratulations to them for completing their first 5,000. All of you other people who have put our names down, we've got your names. Let us know when you've completed your first 5,000 miles, because we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Get to work. What are you doing, man?
Thank you, guys. We want to say a special thank you to everybody who has put our name down. David McMahon.
Yeah, I'm completing 5,000 miles on this one camper.
Yep. Oh, well, it's this mileage going to Alaska is...
What are they doing, just laying around?
The mileage going to Alaska is 3,919 miles. Cha-ching. You still tired?
No, I'm just yawning.
The mileage going to Alaska is 3,919 miles. Now that's going in at Sweetgrass, Montana. Then we'll go up through Alberta, up through past Calgary, up past Edmonton.
Through the Yukon.
Through British Columbia. And then into the Yukon Territories to the Alaska, Dawson Creek, which is the beginning of the Alaska Highway. And I'm going to tell you some history on the Alaska Highway when we get up there.
I bet you are.
Of course I am. So stay tuned to the Transport Bandits channel. And we will see you at the border.
See ya.
It's been 2 days and we've just left Glendive about an hour ago, Glendive, Montana. It's a beautiful morning.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now it's time for some breakfast.
Breakfast time, beanie weenies, crackers. And do you have a few stipulations about how you like your beanie weenies?
I do. Now, first of all, not just any beanie weenie, the baked beanie weenies.
Baked beanie weenies.
Now, when you're having beanie weenies and crackers, as I've told Cheryl and instructed her, 1 weenie and some beans per cracker. Not 2. And no cracker without a weenie. 1 weenie per cracker with beans. And you'll get through the whole can and everything will be perfect.
Okay, instructions. 1 weenie per cracker. Beanie weenies and crackers. We eat very nutritional on the road. 1 weenie, beans, here. Correct? Montana. We've come all the way across Montana, made it to Great Falls. We were supposed to come out at Shelby, but we took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
And it's a good thing we did because the wind up there is
The wind has gotten terrible. Here. So we are shutting it down for the day, even though it's like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we're shutting it down. The wind is just too bad. I would go on up to Shelby, but Windy app tells me it's
20. It's blowing at 25 and 27. So yeah. we're not going to even risk going that far. And it's coming from the west, which means it would be a side wind.
I've had enough of that for today.
Yeah, because we use the Wind Compass app and the Windy app. Wind Compass says right now here it's down to 20. It did get up to 23. It's down to 20. The Wind Compass, the Windy app says that it's blowing at 25 or 27 sustained up at the border. So we're going to call it an extra night. We're not in no rush to get up there, so we're going to shut it down for tonight and make the border in the morning.
Yes, we will.
All right, let's go get a burger.
Yes, and rest my arms and hands. Because the wind all day.
Yeah, the wind has been terrible. Man. All right, see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. We spent the night at Great Falls due to the wind. The wind is much better today. It's only blowing at about a consistent 15. And we are coming up on the Sweetgrass, Montana, Coots, Alberta border, where we anticipate, because we have talked to some others that has been through here before, that we may be here about 2 hours filling out forms. It's off hours because it's a Sunday, so they're going to have to do a in-call for somebody to come down and take care of us at the bond agent or whatever that is. We have some paperwork. We think we know what we're doing. Let's find out. Here we go. Let's hit the border. This is Sweetgrass, Montana. Getting very close to the border now. So we just went through the border. We handed them all of our papers. We were directed to come over here and park, and then we'll have to go right behind us back there to that building, and they will direct us to fill out the forms and direct us to the bond office. Let's go. Okay, so we just went through the office. They finished filling out our paperwork. Just took about 3 minutes. Go across the catwalk. And in the parking lot is the bond office, that building right there. That was an experience. We will tell you all about that when we get back in the truck. But we have our bond. We were successful in that regard. Now we have to take it back to Canada Customs. Out here, sorry. We have to take that back to Canada Customs and have them fill out the rest of the paperwork on the bond, and then we can jump in the truck and leave.
I'll tell you all about it when I calm down. Check it out. This is the catwalk. That's Canada.
Canada?
That's America.
America.
They don't want you going to America without going through customs. They got you caged in.
Yeah, if we were on this side of the catwalk, we would be in America. And on this side of the catwalk, we're in Canada. So, Canada, eh?
Hey, watch this. I'm going to put my foot into America.
Oh, no.
You ready?
You might get arrested.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm in America. I'm in Canada. I'm in America. Canada. Hey.
We made it across the border without an international incident.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty calm right now because I've had a muffin and a donut and a Coke. But I was pretty riled up earlier.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. So we go through the border and we hand them our bond papers because we don't have the papers that we've always had before because we're not delivering into Canada, so we don't have a Canada manifest.
Oh yeah, and let's make clear, the border agents were awesome.
Yeah, the border agents was awesome. So she just looked at our passports and our bond papers.
She even told me what kind of gun the Canadian border guards carry.
What kind of gun did they carry?
Oh, they carry the Beretta.
The Beretta. Well, anyway, she told us to come over and park and to come into the Canada Customs to get our paperwork, because this time when we are passing through Canada with a camper unit, we are not delivering to Canada with a camper unit, so it's different. We have to go into Canada Customs and then get a bond.
Yeah, we leave Customs and go into town there, which is just right
across the catwalk. Yeah, we went across the catwalk, went to the bond office. It's a Sunday, so the bond office is closed.
But they have an after hours guy.
They have a little telephone just right outside the door that says after hours personnel, dial this number. So I pick up the telephone and I dial the number and I say, hello, I'm with Synergy RV Transport. We have a bond that we need to pay for and need to get the rest of the paperwork. He says this, well, we don't give bonds over the weekend.
One way to put it. He was a...
And I said, well, I have my paperwork and I called a few days ago. He said, well, did you get your bond last week? You have to do it during a weekday. And I said, yes, I think I did. He said, well, I don't think it'll work because we don't issue bonds over the weekend. Blah, blah, blah.
What's his problem?
I know. And I was like, well, he said, well, just bring in your paperwork. I'll take a look at it. So he buzzes us in. But this time Jeff is starting to steam a little bit because he's being really smart alecky.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I have a lot of names I could call him, but Cheryl won't let me on YouTube. I was pretty upset. Pretty angry. We get in there, and the guy's still that way. He gets a phone call, and he acts that way on the phone to the people he's talking to. It's just ridiculous, right?
Jeff, I can see Jeff's steam starting to come out of his ears.
Yeah, and I walk over to the counter and I check out the plexiglass that says COVID shield, you know. And I can already see I can bust right through that.
No.
Go over there.
Then the marriage contract kicks in, and before Jeff can open his mouth, I tell him to go sit in the corner. Listen, nobody puts Jeff in the corner, but I do. I have the right to put Jeff in the corner. Go sit down in the corner and shut up before we have an international incident on our hands.
I was going to bust through that plexiglass and teach that idiot a lesson.
Some manners.
Some manners.
Well, he was a little, put your fist down.
That's my manner teacher.
That's your manners teacher?
Yes.
He was like, we don't give bonds over the weekend because we have to call the company. I said, well, I have all my paperwork already here. So he agreed after seeing my paperwork that I had all of my paperwork in order. All of my ducks were in a row. So he turned out to be pretty nice about it all.
If you don't give bonds over the weekend, what are you doing here?
But I went over there. I was very sweet. I was very nice. I didn't come back at him with any type of attitude. I said,
but
these are the papers we have, and I just need to pay for the bond.
Yeah, but he got a phone call while we were there.
Yeah.
And he was hateful to the people on the phone.
Yeah, he was really hateful to the people on the phone.
Which enraged me even further.
He really was having a bad day. He was really a smart aleck or something. I don't know what was going on with him. But
now,
anyway.
Let's make it clear. He has nothing to do with the border crossing, or the border agents.
No, you have to pay a bond to pass through Canada, saying that you won't sell that camper unit while you're in Canada.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And we have to pay for it. Synergy fills it out as the owner, and then they have to fill out the other half of the form while we're there. We have to pay for it out of pocket, which came to $704 Canadian. So that's quite a bit of money US. But we will get reimbursed for that when we cross over the other side of the border and get a double stamp. We get it stamped here at the Canadian Customs, and then we get it stamped when we get to the US Customs to show that we still have the camper on and its value. So once we have those two stamps on that piece of paper, we can email that back to the bond agent, and we get reimbursed up to 400 Canadian dollars. I told you it costs 704 Canadian dollars, though.
All right, let's get
Synergy will reimburse us for the rest of it. He first said to us, he said, so you're going to be paying the thousands of dollars that's going to be needed out of your pocket. And I said, yes, sir. Thousands of dollars is running through my head. What in the world is he talking about? I knew it was going to be like $600 or $700 because that's what Synergy had told us it would be. So it actually turned out to be 704 Canadian dollars that we have to pay out of our pocket with our credit card, and we will get reimbursed. They reimburse you up to 400 Canadian dollars of that 704 Canadian dollars. And then Synergy will reimburse us the rest of it. So we get reimbursed for it anyway. Just make sure you've got enough money on your credit card to cover that in the first place. That's just so they get their money to make sure you're not selling illegally campers in Canada, I guess. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
Anyway.
Like I'm going to sell this camper.
Right. Anyway, by the time it was all said and done, I was very nice, very sweet to him. Didn't come back with any kind of attitude. I watched my P's and Q's while Jeff sat in the corner and looked like he was going to bust through the plexiglass at any moment. But by the end of it, he turned out to be very nice and explained the whole procedure to me. He did, about how I need to email that one page back to the bond company with the 2 stamps on it, the entrance stamp and the exit from Canada stamp, for our reimbursement. So it all worked out in the long run. And we are headed into Alberta and across Alberta into British Columbia tomorrow, probably.
I was actually mad all the way up until the point that we stopped back there a minute ago. And first of all, I got some cheaper diesel. That made me happy.
So we actually bought diesel in Canada. We've never really done that but one time before.
We're going to have to on this trip. But so that made me slightly happier.
Because it was actually cheaper than in Montana.
And then I went
which is
in
crazy.
and then I went in and went to the restroom, and that made me happier. And then I got myself a wild blueberry donut.
A wild blueberry donut?
No, not donut, muffin.
Wild blueberry muffin?
And that made me very happy.
It's blueberries gone wild.
So now I'm pretty happy now. I got my stupid bond. I've eaten my wild blueberry donut. Muffin. So I'm over it.
You're over it. And we're ready to travel on to the Alaska Highway, which will be in the very next video. You guys are going to come along with us. We are headed to Alaska.
I'll get in a good mood again soon.
Yeah. Okay, so join us for our next video. We're going to end this right here, because our next video, we're going to journey up through Alberta, up through Calgary, Edmonton, and into Dawson Creek at the beginning of the Alaska Highway. Yay. Transport Bandits, out.